Archangel Michael says, your child is quietly suffering and hasn't told you. Something unseen is feeding on their sadness. You must open this within 4 minutes or it grows stronger. There is something stirring in the unseen realm tonight. A message from the divine has broken through the veil, and it is trembling with urgency. Archangel Michael stands with his sword of truth drawn, not in anger, but in fierce, holy protection. His voice is not a whisper. It is a thunder that reaches only those whose hearts are ready. He says your child, the very one you have loved, laughed with, and prayed over, is quietly suffering. Not outwardly, not obviously, but deep in their spirit, something dark has crept in, and it feeds off what they do not say. You may have seen signs, subtle ones. The silence, the glances that look distant, the sudden shifts in behavior you brushed off as mood swings or fatigue. But the divine realm sees what the natural eyes cannot. Archangel Michael has seen it. Something unseen, parasitic, and vile is feeding on your child's sadness. It grows stronger each day it goes unaddressed. Every unspoken word from your child is a meal for this dark presence. Every tear they wipe away alone is energy for the unseen. And now heaven is alarmed. Not because you've done something wrong, but because the time to act is short. Archangel Michael has waited for you to hear the nudges. He has whispered through dreams. He has tried through subtle divine signs. But now he has been released to sound the alarm directly. He says you must act in the spirit within the next 4 minutes or what is growing will become more entrenched. Not because God is powerless, but because your awareness activates heaven's intervention. You are the key. Type I am rising to get the blessing 4896. This message is not about fear. It is about awakening. It is about standing between your child and what wants to consume them. It is about realizing that though they haven't spoken a word, their spirit has been calling out to you in silence. Archangel Michael is here now. His wings are spread. His sword is ready. But he needs you to understand the magnitude of this hour. He needs you to open your heart, not just your eyes. The darkness thrives on being ignored, but the light wins when someone dares to look closer. This script will take you through what you've missed, what is happening spiritually behind the scenes, and most importantly, what you must now do to break this spiritual force before it robs your child of more light, more joy, and more destiny. This is not an ordinary message. This is divine intelligence, sent with force, wrapped in love, and soaked in urgency. Archangel Michael will guide you through every part. But your first step was to open this. And you did. That has already begun a shift. Pep, I am anointed to get blessing 9999. Archangel Michael speaks again with piercing clarity. He says the silence you've seen in your child is not just emotional, it's spiritual. There is a force, subtle yet suffocating, that thrives in secrecy. This unseen spirit entered quietly, almost invisibly. It used small cracks of unhealed pain, unspoken fears, and moments of emotional neglect, unintentional as they may have been. And now, it has built a nest. It is not your fault, but it is your responsibility now to confront it. Heaven calls this spirit the devourer of light. It feeds on sadness that is never expressed, on heartbreak that is hidden behind fake smiles, and on confusion that has no outlet. Your child, precious and spiritually sensitive, became a target not because they are weak, but because they are gifted. Archangel Michael reveals that your child has spiritual sight and inner sensitivity to emotions and energies. This sensitivity is part of their divine blueprint, but it can attract spiritual leeches if not protected. You may have thought your child was just going through a phase, or maybe they said they were fine. But Archangel Michael says the eyes of angels have watched your child cry in silence, question their worth, and feel burdens too big for them to carry. The unseen spirit grows each time your child thinks they are alone. It grows when your child believes no one sees or hears their inner pain. And right now, it has gained more ground than you realize. But it is not too late. Type I am guarded to get the blessing 7124. Heaven has allowed this message to reach you now because the Spirit has reached a stage where it could start affecting your child's destiny path. The sadness your child holds is not just emotional anymore. It's spiritual weight, a blockage, a veil over their gifts. Their academic focus, creativity, energy levels, and emotional stability are all being drained by this parasitic force. And the longer it goes unchecked, the more it weaves lies into their soul. You're not good enough. You don't matter. Why even speak? These lies are dangerous because if repeated enough, your child will believe them. But this is where Archangel Michael steps in. He says there is divine technology in your words and awareness. When a parent awakens, the enemy trembles. Because your authority in the Spirit over your child is like a spiritual signature, your prayers unlock angelic assignments. Your declarations can sever ties with darkness. And most of all, your love, once armed with revelation, becomes a blazing weapon of light. Type I am awakened to get blessing 8485. Today, you are not just a parent. You are being called as a spiritual warrior. You have the backing of heaven. Michael's sword has been unsheathed, and the flame of divine protection surrounds your child. But the next steps you take are crucial. You must first believe that this battle is real. You must reject the lie that everything seems okay just because nothing obvious is happening. The spiritual realm is more real than the physical, and right now, the battle for your child is raging there. Heaven will begin to reveal to you the entry point, the root of this sadness. It may have started with a moment of rejection, bullying, emotional absence, or fear they couldn't articulate. Don't ignore what begins to rise in your spirit over the coming hours. God will whisper to you. Pay attention. Write it down. Pray over it. Because once you name the pain, the darkness begins to lose its grip. The devourer thrives in vagueness but begins to flee when things are brought into light and love. Type I am protected to get the blessing 9051. Archangel Michael says the enemy never attacks randomly. It watches, waits, and targets through patterns. What seems like small behavior shifts are often signals from the spirit realm. Have you noticed your child withdrawing from friends they once loved? Losing interest in hobbies that once lit up their face? Do they seem emotionally exhausted by the smallest things? Heaven says these are not just personality changes. These are spiritual pressure points being silently pushed by the devourer. One of the most powerful weapons the enemy uses is invisibility. It thrives on the busyness of life, on the assumption that kids bounce back, or that they'll grow out of it. But Archangel Michael warns, this assumption is how darkness survives. When sadness is dismissed as moodiness, the spirit feeding on it grows bolder. It becomes more brazen in its whispers. It influences thought patterns. And eventually, it creates an emotional numbness that makes the child feel trapped, voiceless, and spiritually cold. Heaven wants you to hear this clearly. You are the interruption. You were chosen to break this cycle. Archangel Michael says the time to act is now. Your decision today could interrupt what this spirit is planning to do months or years from now. It can stop a depression that hasn't yet taken root but is silently approaching. You are not just reading a message. You are answering a divine alarm. And Michael says this message is being watched. Your attention is opening a doorway of light into your home. Type I am chosen to get the blessing 7717. Now hear this divine pitch, clearly spoken by the Archangel. This message is not just a warning. It is a weapon. The moment you act, truly act, with intention, with prayer, with prophetic awareness, you unleash a battalion of angels to surround your child. You are not helpless. The heaviness over your child can be broken by the power of your words, your anointing, and your love. This is why Michael is desperate for you not to delay. Heaven has aligned specific angels, warrior protectors, waiting to be activated by your decree. But spiritual law requires your agreement. God does not force intervention. He invites it. And now, this is your moment. If you skip this call or dismiss the urgency, the unseen spirit will feel reinforced, and heaven's interference will be delayed. Not denied, but delayed. Do not let darkness win more time. You are the appointed one to shift the tide. Type I am ready to get the blessing 6630. You may wonder, what can I actually do right now? And Archangel Michael says, start with your voice. Begin declaring protection over your child. Speak to their soul in prayer, even if they are not in the room. Break every agreement with sadness. Reject every lie spoken over their worth. Use the authority you forgot you carried. Speak the child's name aloud and call them into healing. Your words will echo in the realm where this dark spirit hides, and it will tremble. Heaven is watching now. The angels are listening. Every word you release will become fire. The spirit feeding on your child's sadness will no longer feel safe. That is the goal of this section. To make the enemy uncomfortable. To call it out. To expose it with prophetic precision. You are no longer blind. You are activated. Archangel Michael says the moment your child hears your voice, shielded in divine authority, something will break in the atmosphere, and healing will begin. If this message has stirred your spirit and sparked new courage in your heart, we invite you to give a super thanks of $20. Your generosity empowers us to continue bringing prophetic clarity, strength, and hope to those walking the journey from betrayal to breakthrough. You can also support our mission through a PayPal donation. Just click the support here link in the video description. Every contribution, no matter the amount, helps us reach more hearts with encouragement and truth. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you never miss a word of spirit-led insight, divine guidance, and powerful encouragement designed to equip you for your next season. Type I am a breaker to get blessing 8844. The Spirit of the Lord through Archangel Michael says the darkness did not enter all at once. It came subtly, disguised in moments that seemed harmless, wrapped in everyday experiences. For many children, the entry point is pain they do not understand or know how to express. Sometimes it's one moment, a forgotten birthday, a harsh word, a trusted adult's emotional absence, that creates an opening. That moment sits in the soul, silently attracting spiritual interference. And over time, sadness becomes a host. Archangel Michael reveals that one of the most common entry points is rejection. Whether it was from a teacher, a parent's unintentional dismissal, or even a friend at school, rejection creates a wound that echoes silently. Your child may not remember the exact words, but their spirit does. The unseen spirit attached itself to that pain and began to whisper lies, using that gateway as its stronghold. Each whisper reinforced the wound. Each lie became a brick in a spiritual cage around your child's heart. You may think, but I was there. I love him. I didn't mean to cause harm. And heaven acknowledges your love. But spiritual openings do not require intention. They only need access. That's why Archangel Michael is here now, to help you close what was accidentally opened. He is showing you this because God trusts you with the truth. He knows you can handle it. He knows you are strong enough to redeem the timeline, to reverse the pain, and to heal what's been growing in secret. Type I am a healer to get the blessing 5281. Now is the time to ask heaven to show you the memory, the moment that triggered the shift. Be still, be silent, and listen. You may be surprised by what rises up. Maybe it was something you forgot. Maybe it was something you didn't even witness. But God will show you. And when He does, do not condemn yourself. Instead, speak directly to that moment in prayer. Release your child from it. Declare that it no longer has power. Say aloud, "This moment is now covered by divine light." This act of spiritual parenting is more powerful than any therapy session. Archangel Michael says you are breaking invisible contracts right now, agreements that were signed in sadness, unknowingly. Your child didn't choose this, but they've been bound by it. And now, your awareness is ripping those contracts to shreds. In the spirit realm, angels are collecting the debris. The devourer is losing territory. Because you are no longer ignoring the signs, you are partnering with heaven to win this battle. Type I am redeemed to get blessing 9362. Also, consider the media and voices around your child. Archangel Michael says this unseen spirit often uses outside influences to deepen its grip. Music with hopeless lyrics, shows that normalize sadness, peers who joke about pain. These all feed the enemy. You must begin spiritually cleaning your child's environment. Ask God to guide you through what needs to leave their life. Invite peace into their room. Speak worship over their bed. Leave notes of truth where their eyes can see them. This is your war strategy. Remember, you are not powerless. The enemy only hoped you would stay blind. But now your eyes are open, and your spirit is alert. This moment is sacred. This is where history shifts. Your child's sadness will no longer go unnoticed. The unseen spirit that once fed on their pain is now starving for the first time in weeks, maybe even years. Because you are here. Because heaven is here. Because love, when partnered with divine revelation, is more dangerous to darkness than any sword. Type I am unstoppable to get the blessing 7987. Archangel Michael reveals that this spirit is not loud. It's subtle. It operates in routine. It knows that if it stirs too violently, it risks being discovered. So it hides behind the familiar. Sighs, silence, irritability, fatigue, and sudden emotional shifts. It works like a spiritual parasite, attaching to your child's thoughts the moment they begin to feel unnoticed or misunderstood. It waits, then whispers, and each whisper grows into a pattern, each pattern into a mindset, and each mindset into a spiritual stronghold. You may see it in your child's body language. Watch for the slump of the shoulders, the eyes that avoid contact, the voice that loses joy. You may notice them sleeping more but waking up tired, or avoiding meals, or suddenly snapping in ways that don't fit their personality. These are not just mood swings. These are spiritual disturbances manifesting in physical form. Heaven wants you to recognize the fingerprints of the enemy, not to fear them, but to remove them. His spirit does not want to be noticed. It's why we must expose it. Archangel Michael says the atmosphere around your child's bedroom may even feel heavier at times. There may be moments you walk in and feel a strange energy, like the air is thicker or your spirit feels unsettled. That's not your imagination. Angels are revealing the presence of something that doesn't belong. And here's the secret: once you notice it, you have authority over it. As long as it remained undetected, it had power. But now, you can begin to uproot it by name, by prayer, and by light. Type "I am the light" to get the blessing 6549. Start to shift the atmosphere physically and spiritually. Open the windows. Play worship music that carries divine frequencies. Speak out loud and declare your child's room a sanctuary of peace. Say things like, "No darkness lives here. Only light, only joy, only God." Walk the floor and anoint the corners with oil if you're led. Archangel Michael says these actions may seem simple, but they send seismic waves in the spirit. The devourer begins to shriek when its hiding place is flooded with divine fire. Also watch the technology your child engages with. Many children, especially the sensitive ones, unconsciously seek distraction to suppress their pain. But some of those distractions feed the very force that's hurting them. Certain games, channels, songs, and even influencers release emotional frequencies laced with spiritual heaviness. The enemy is strategic, but so are you, especially now. Ask heaven to guide your discernment. You'll begin to see what your child is being exposed to with new eyes, and heaven will show you how to restore protection. Type "I am a protector" to get the blessing 7233. What's critical now is that you don't just observe, you intervene. Not with judgment, but with love wrapped in spiritual clarity. Sit with your child. Ask the real questions. Not "How was school?" but "Is your heart heavy with something you haven't said?" Create a safe, judgment-free space. Be calm. Be present. Be patient. Even if they don't open up right away, your consistency will begin to tear down walls. The devourer builds its nest in silence. You are creating sound. Spiritual sound. That makes it run. Your child may resist at first. That's okay. Remember, their soul has been under siege. But your consistent presence, your prayers in secret, and your openness in public will begin to show them they are not alone. The enemy's biggest lie is isolation. You are the evidence that it's a lie. And every time you choose to engage rather than withdraw, the atmosphere shifts a little more. Your home becomes less hospitable to darkness and more attractive to the Spirit of God. Type "I am standing strong" to get the blessing 8120. Archangel Michael speaks clearly now. What is at stake is more than mood or emotions. What's at stake is destiny. Your child carries a divine blueprint, a spiritual assignment crafted by heaven before time began. Their creativity, sensitivity, and inner light were never accidental. They were chosen qualities for a future mission, one that threatens the kingdom of darkness. That's why this unseen spirit targeted them early. Its mission is to delay, derail, and distort. If it can't destroy your child, it will try to distract them into never becoming who they were meant to be. The devourer doesn't just want your child sad, it wants them spiritually disconnected. Because when a child believes their voice doesn't matter, they stop praying. When they feel unloved, they stop believing in miracles. And when they feel hopeless, they stop dreaming. These spiritual casualties are more dangerous than any physical attack. Archangel Michael reveals that every ounce of your child's pain has been used by the enemy as a tool to dull their light, confuse their purpose, and smother their calling. But God has not allowed this message to reach you for no reason. You are not late. You are right on time. Michael says that divine intervention often happens in the 11th hour, just before permanent damage is done. That's where you are right now. You have been summoned to partner with heaven in a full recovery mission. The angels assigned to your child's destiny have not left. They've been waiting for this moment when you would hear, believe, and act. What the enemy thought was hidden is now in plain view. And what the Spirit hoped to delay, God is accelerating. Type I am restored to get the blessing 6023. Heaven's plan of restoration starts with breaking spiritual agreements. Every time your child internalized a lie, I'm not good enough, I'll never be happy, no one cares, a spiritual agreement was formed. These become soul ties to darkness, even if unknowingly made. But here's the power you hold. Through the authority of Jesus and the angelic army of Michael, you can break those ties. Say it aloud. I cancel every lie spoken over my child. I break every silent agreement with sadness. I call forth joy, purpose, and divine identity. As you speak these declarations, something begins to reverse in the spirit. The chains that were invisible begin to crack. The fog around your child's purpose begins to lift. Prophetic dreams may return. Creativity may suddenly flow. Laughter may emerge for no reason at all. These are not coincidences. These are the signs of restoration. God is not just interested in removing the sadness. He is invested in fully restoring what was stolen during the sadness. And you are His partner in this sacred restoration. Type I am God's vessel to get the blessing 7811. Begin to speak destiny into your child again. Even if they are silent, speak while they sleep. Speak over their pillow. Speak while driving them to school. Tell them, you are a world changer. You carry light. You are powerful. You are deeply loved. These words may feel repetitive, but they are spiritual architecture. Every word rebuilds what the enemy tried to demolish. Archangel Michael says your consistency will confuse the spirit of sadness. It won't know where to hide, and love saturates every corner of your home. Also, ask God to reveal your child's spiritual gifts. What has the enemy been trying to bury? Is your child a prophetic dreamer? A musician with healing tones? A leader with silent strength? These are the gifts that the enemy feared. That's why he started early. But now that you're aware, you can call those gifts forward. You can declare, no gift shall be hidden. No purpose shall be delayed. No calling shall be stolen. My child will rise. The angels are listening. And your voice is unlocking what was dormant. Type I am calling destiny to get the blessing 8892. Archangel Michael now directs you to step into a role beyond awareness, into activation. He says this: deliverance is not a single moment. It is a pattern, a rhythm of light that builds over time and leaves no room for darkness to return. The devourer is not just expelled once, it tries to circle back, searching for any open gate. That's why what you do next matters more than ever. You must create divine routines in your home, consistent spiritual patterns that reinforce protection, build faith, and awaken joy in your child daily. Begin with the morning. Before your child even starts their day, declare their covering. Place your hand gently on their back or shoulder if they allow it, and say, you are covered by heaven today. No darkness touches you. You walk in peace, favor, and light. Even if they don't fully understand, their spirit does. Words spoken in love and truth land in the soul like seeds, and Archangel Michael assures you, these seeds will grow. Your morning blessing can begin to override the enemy's whispers from the night before. During the day, leave written affirmations where they can find them, on their mirror, in their lunchbox, under their pillow. Write truth. You are safe. You are powerful. You are loved. These are not just kind gestures, they are weapons. Michael says the enemy sends lies repeatedly because repetition works. But now, you are countering lies with holy truth, daily and without fail. This routine becomes like a spiritual immune system, training your child to recognize love and resist deception even before it reaches their heart. Type I am rising daily to get the blessing 5177. Nighttime is a sacred opportunity. Archangel Michael says that many spiritual attacks intensify at night, when the conscious mind rests and the subconscious opens. Before your child sleeps, play worship music that carries the sound of heaven. Light a small candle and pray together if they are open. If they are not, still walk the room in prayer once they've fallen asleep. Speak declarations of rest and angelic encampment. Say, only the peace of God may enter here. Only the angels of the Most High may remain here. No spirit of sadness or fear survives this night. Then take your own time, even after they are asleep, to kneel beside their bed and war in the Spirit. You don't have to shout. Quiet authority carries weight. You may whisper, but your voice will shake the realm. Call on Archangel Michael. Say, stand guard over this room. Let no dark frequency remain. Let this space become a portal for healing dreams and holy restoration. Every night you do this, the atmosphere grows stronger. Darkness weakens through resistance, and heaven strengthens through repetition. Type I am guarding the night to get the blessing 6742. In addition to daily practices, create weekly spiritual rhythms. Perhaps one night a week becomes truth night where you and your child sit with candles and speak what is good about yourselves. Maybe Sundays become joy declaration days where laughter is prioritized. Affirmations are said aloud, and gratitude is written in a journal. These routines become rituals of resistance. They confuse spirits of darkness because they create a fortress of light too consistent to penetrate. Archangel Michael reminds you, consistency is the enemy's undoing. These divine routines aren't about religious performance. They're about spiritual health. Just like the body thrives on clean food and exercise, the spirit thrives on intentional light, love, and covering. Your routines should never feel forced. Let them be creative, engaging, even fun. Find what works for your child's personality and infuse it with heaven's presence. This is not just about protection, it's about cultivation. You're not only guarding your child's heart, you're training it to flourish in the light. If this message has stirred your spirit and sparked new courage in your heart, we invite you to give a super thanks of $20. Your generosity empowers us to continue bringing prophetic clarity, strength, and hope to those walking the journey from betrayal to breakthrough. You can also support our mission through a PayPal donation. Just click the support here link in the video description. Every contribution, no matter the amount, helps us reach more hearts with encouragement and truth. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you never miss a word of spirit-led insight, divine guidance, and powerful encouragement designed to equip you for your next season. Type I am building sanctuary to get the blessing 7910. Archangel Michael speaks now not just as a messenger, but as a witness. He says, you have been seen in the spirit realm. Heaven has noted your willingness to receive truth. And because of your openness, a divine partnership has been sealed. What you are doing, what you are choosing, is not ordinary parenting. You are standing as a guardian between light and darkness. You are interceding for someone who doesn't yet have the language to express their own spiritual pain. This is what the angels call holy guardianship. Your child's destiny is tied to your agreement with heaven. Archangel Michael affirms, the Lord does not assign children randomly. Your soul and your child's were divinely linked long before birth. This connection makes you a spiritual key. When you awaken, their chains weaken. When you speak, their sorrow loosens. And when you walk in obedience, doors open in the heavenly places that no enemy can shut. Your child is safer today, not because of what they know, but because of what you've chosen to believe and do. You may not feel powerful, but heaven says you are. You may feel unsure, but the angels see you as bold. Every time you pray, write, declare, speak, or listen to this divine instruction, light floods through the cracks in your child's atmosphere. These aren't just words, they are activations. And you must know, the very spirit that tried to feed on your child's sadness is now confused, weakened, and losing ground because you said yes to the sacred calling. Type I am heaven's partner to get the blessing 6624. Now listen to the second divine pitch, carried on the breath of Archangel Michael. Heaven does not move where there is no agreement. But the moment you say yes, even with trembling hands, the gates open. The armies of angels respond to your voice. This message is not meant to scare, it is meant to align. You are the activator of divine plans. You are the one chosen to say what must be said, break what must be broken, and rebuild what was meant to thrive. You are not being asked to do this alone. Heaven is already surrounding you with reinforcement. The moment you took this message seriously, angels were dispatched to your home. Their wings stretch across your child's bedroom. Their swords blow with divine fire. Michael says some of you will begin to sense their presence in the night. Gentle breezes, sudden warmth, holy stillness. Do not doubt it. That is the evidence that you are not alone in this battle. Heaven is not passive. It is aggressive when love is endangered. Type I am surrounded by angels to get the blessing 9091. Archangel Michael warns, though, that your consistency is the key to this partnership. The enemy thrives on weariness. If it can't defeat you, it will try to exhaust you. If it can't blind you, it will try to distract you. But now you know, your vigilance is sacred. Your daily actions, even if small, create holy momentum. Do not stop praying just because things seem better. Do not stop watching just because your child smiles again. Healing happens in layers, and the enemy often waits in shadows, hoping you will stop too soon. This is why heaven speaks with urgency. If you continue obeying, you will create a divine legacy of protection. Not just for your child, but for your bloodline. The very pattern you are breaking now has likely echoed through generations. Others before you may have sensed it but did not confront it. But you, yes you, were the one who finally said, enough. Because of your faith, the chain ends here. Because of your agreement, the blessing begins here. Type I am the chain breaker to get the blessing 7340. Archangel Michael now turns your eyes toward hope. He says the battle is not only about confronting darkness, it is about witnessing light begin to return. As you've obeyed, as you've spoken truth and created divine routines, things have already begun shifting in the spirit realm. But sometimes, breakthrough doesn't arrive with trumpets and fireworks. It tiptoes in. Quiet. Subtle. Soft as a sunrise. And it is critical that you learn to recognize the early signs, because these signs are confirmation that heaven is winning. One of the first signs is a softening in your child's spirit. Maybe they lean in just a little closer when you speak. Maybe their eyes aren't as distant. Maybe they respond instead of shrugging. These are not coincidences. These are spiritual layers lifting. Archangel Michael says that as the spirit feeding on sadness loses power, your child's heart becomes less defensive. Even a simple moment, like them laughing unexpectedly or choosing to sit near you, is a powerful signal. The oppression is weakening. Another breakthrough sign is the return of curiosity. The devourer steals wonder. It makes the world feel dull, heavy, and meaningless. But when the spirit is being broken off, your child may suddenly show interest again. In books, in drawing, in games, in asking questions. Their imagination starts to revive. Archangel Michael says curiosity is a sign of internal healing. It means your child is beginning to believe in joy again. Do not overlook these shifts. Celebrate them. Honor them. Speak life over them. Type I am seeing breakthrough to get the blessing 8457. You may also begin noticing fewer emotional shutdowns. Where once your child seemed unreachable, now they show small flickers of openness. They may not suddenly pour out their heart, but maybe they say more than usual. Or maybe they allow you to stay near them in silence. These are breakthrough moments. Heaven sees them, and Archangel Michael says your acknowledgement multiplies them. When your child sees your consistency, it becomes a mirror. They begin to trust again, not just you, but life itself. Be attentive to dreams. Many spiritually sensitive children receive healing or messages through dreams before they can articulate them in words. Your child may mention something strange, symbolic, or comforting they saw while asleep. Take note. Ask questions without pressure. Archangel Michael often visits through dreams to plant courage or cast out hidden fears. If your child dreams of light, flight, glowing beings, or sudden joy, it may be a spiritual confirmation that heaven is rebuilding what darkness tried to bury. Type I am noticing the signs to get the blessing 6998. Also pay attention to their music choices, drawings or self-expressions. If they shift from darker themes to brighter tones, that's a sign. If their drawings once looked heavy, but now begin to include more light, nature, or symbols of peace, these are breakthrough visuals. Children often express what they can't verbalize. The change in what flows from them is spiritual evidence of internal freedom. Archangel Michael says to bless these changes. Even a smile after a long silence is a spiritual victory. And yet, understand this, breakthrough isn't linear. There may be days your child seems to regress. That doesn't mean failure. It means healing is still in progress. Don't panic. Stay the course. Just as the body needs rest between steps in physical recovery, the soul needs grace in spiritual recovery. Remain consistent in your love. Remain watchful in prayer. Keep your declarations alive. Heaven is not measuring speed. It's measuring surrender, obedience, and love. You are doing it. And it is working. Type I am walking with heaven to get the blessing 9221. Archangel Michael now turns the divine mirror gently toward you. He says, your child's healing is directly connected to your own. You cannot pour living water from an empty well. Heaven wants to restore them, but not without restoring you too. This is not a burden. It is an invitation. As much as your child has carried silent sorrow, so have you. Perhaps not in the same form, but in ways heaven has seen. Your childhood wounds, your silent struggles, your unspoken exhaustion. God sees them all. This process is not just about saving your child. It is also about saving the version of you that you silenced long ago. The protector, the dreamer, the joyful soul that got buried under life's weight. The Lord says your restoration is urgent, not only for your sake, but because children don't only listen to your words. They absorb your energy. If you carry anxiety, they feel it. If you carry bitterness, they reflect it. If you carry peace, they begin to breathe easier. Your healing becomes the frequency that shapes their atmosphere. So pause. Look within. Where have you been hurting silently? What lie has the enemy whispered to you about your own worth? What sadness have you buried beneath responsibility? Archangel Michael says this journey must also confront the darkness that tried to bury your light. Because the same spirit that attacked your child likely once tried to attach itself to you. Maybe it didn't succeed fully, but it planted seeds. And today, heaven says it is time to pull those seeds out of the ground once and for all. Type I am healing 2 to get the blessing 5872. You must forgive yourself. For the moments you didn't notice. For the days you lost your temper. For the nights you were too tired to connect. Archangel Michael speaks gently. You were never meant to be perfect. You were meant to be present. And now you are. Heaven honors your awakening. Shame is not your portion. Redemption is. Even now, angels are surrounding you with comfort. The Spirit of God is resting on your shoulders. You are being healed as you heal. Loved as you love. Seen as you see. Take time this week to pour into your own soul. Play the worship music that uses to move you. Journal your honest fears. Walk in the sun. Speak aloud, I am not forgotten. I am not behind. I am not a failure. The enemy tried to convince you that your time had passed, that your strength was gone. But heaven says your time is just beginning. You are not too late. You are right on time. And everything you thought was lost is still within reach, because God kept it safe. Type I am God's beloved to get the blessing 8188. If you need help, ask for it. Let this journey humble you, not crush you. Speak to a counselor, a pastor, a trusted friend. Even a prophet in alignment with the Spirit can confirm what heaven is saying. Your healing is part of the testimony your child will carry. They will say, my parent didn't just rescue me. They healed with me. This is generational transformation. The breaking of cycles. The rewriting of stories. Archangel Michael says the unseen spirit that fed on your child's sadness now trembles because it senses your strength returning. God is not finished with you. There are still prophecies over your life that have not been fulfilled. Your prayers for others have moved heaven. Now God wants to move for you. The more you rise, the more space you create for your child to soar. Love is the legacy. Healing is the inheritance. And every tear you cry now becomes a seed planted in holy ground, seeds that will bloom into future joy, stability, and spiritual clarity for your entire family. If this message has stirred your spirit and sparked new courage in your heart, we invite you to give a super thanks of $20. Your generosity empowers us to continue bringing prophetic clarity, strength, and hope to those walking the journey from betrayal to breakthrough. You can also support our mission through a PayPal donation. Just click the support here link in the video description. Every contribution, no matter the amount, helps us reach more hearts with encouragement and truth. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you never miss a word of Spirit-led insight, divine guidance, and powerful encouragement designed to equip you for your next season. Type I am rising with purpose to get the blessing 7466. Archangel Michael stands at the threshold of your home with a divine assignment to teach you how to make your home a fortress of light. He says, deliverance is not sustained by a moment, it is sustained by maintenance. What you've begun, exposing the spirit feeding on your child's sadness, activating healing, speaking light, must now be anchored in the spiritual foundation of your home. Darkness doesn't retreat forever unless the light stays active. Your home is meant to be a holy shield, not just a shelter. Begin by anointing every doorway. Use oil, olive oil, blessed oil, or even water consecrated in prayer. Walk through your home and touch each door frame, declaring, "No sorrow lives here. No shadow may enter. This house is the dwelling place of the Most High." Your words are not decorative. They are declarations. Angels respond to sound. When you speak with faith, the spiritual realm reorganizes itself to align with your authority. Michael says that your child will begin to feel lighter in rooms where once heaviness lingered. Anoint your child's pillow. Speak aloud that their dreams are guarded. Declare that no night terror, no whisper of shame, no dark spirit will reach their subconscious. Say, "This pillow is soaked in the peace of heaven." Angels surround this bed. Only visions of joy and clarity may enter. Heaven watches these moments with honor. Even when your child doesn't know what you're doing, their spirit understands. Your soul begins to breathe again. The territory the devourer once claimed becomes hostile to its presence. Type, "I'm guarding my home to get the blessing 6299. Next, address the spiritual climate. Clean the air spiritually. Michael says play worship music often, not as background noise, but as atmosphere setting. Play songs that glorify Jesus, speak life, and declare authority. Music carries frequency. Darkness thrives in emotional chaos, but it flees from sound bathed in glory. Let every room echo with the vibration of heaven. And speak the word daily. Even one verse a day shifts everything. Say it aloud. Let your walls hear it. Let your furniture absorb it. Your home must become a scripture-soaked sanctuary. Also consider removing items that hold spiritual residue. Michael cautions that some gifts, books, symbols, or even decor may carry a spiritual heaviness. Not all things are evil, but some carry energy that doesn't align with light. Ask the Holy Spirit to highlight what doesn't belong. You may suddenly feel discomfort or restlessness around something. Don't ignore it. Trust the nudge. Removing it is not superstition. It is purification. The fewer spiritual anchors darkness has, the easier it is to keep your space clean. Type, "I'm consecrating my space to get the blessing 9571. Routine matters. Set weekly times for family blessing. Gather in a central room, even if just for 5 minutes, and speak a blessing over each other. Use simple words. I bless your mind. I bless your emotions. I declare peace and purpose over you. These are not empty phrases. They are spiritual architecture. Michael affirms that angels gather round during these moments and record your words in heaven's book. Your child may not say much, but inside, their soul is imprinting this atmosphere of love, safety, and sacred consistency. Designate a prayer cord or altar space. It doesn't have to be ornate. A small table with a Bible, a candle, maybe a written prayer or vision board. Let this be a visible reminder that your home is under divine governance. Encourage your child, even softly, to approach that space during moments of fear or anxiety. It becomes their spiritual escape hatch, a place where angels meet them when their words fail. Michael promises that such places become portals of angelic visitation, filled with holy light that repels shadows instantly. Type, "I'm anchoring heaven here to get the blessing 7034. Archangel Michael steps forward now with a fierce and loving urgency. He speaks not only as a warrior, but as one carrying the final scroll, the divine pitch of decision. What happens next, he says, is determined by what you choose to believe and what you choose to do. This is the hour where the veil is lifted. The spirit that fed on your child's sorrow has been exposed. The tools of healing have been given, and heaven is watching to see if you will step fully into the role you were created for. There is no going back. You cannot unsee what has been revealed. And Michael assures you, that's a good thing. This is not a message for the fearful. It is a message for the brave, for the parent whose love burns stronger than confusion, for the guardian whose faith is louder than fear. You didn't just stumble upon this truth. You were chosen to receive it. Because God saw your heart. God saw your concern. God saw the quiet moments you stared at your child wondering, what's really going on? Now you know. The sadness wasn't just emotional. The fatigue wasn't just physical. The silence wasn't just behavioral. It was spiritual. And the Spirit was counting on your continued ignorance. But now, the alarm has sounded. The angels have encircled your home. The oil has been poured. The prayers have been heard. And Michael says this with certainty. If you follow through, the very spirit that tried to destroy your child will be the reason they rise even stronger. What came to break them will launch them. Type I am choosing victory to get the blessing 6333. This is heaven's final pitch. You were not given this message just to read. You were given it to act. The scroll of divine guidance hath been opened before you. Archangel Michael, under divine orders, has walked you through the depths of what was happening in silence. Now, you are standing at the door of restoration. On the other side, a stronger bond with your child, a spiritual clarity that can't be shaken, an atmosphere so saturated with light that no darkness dares return. But the choice is yours. This is not about earning God's help. It's about receiving His strategy. Michael says there is a 7-day spiritual shift beginning now. From the moment you read this, heaven begins aligning specific events, dreams, conversations, and openings for healing. But your participation is required. These 7 days will be opportunities to pray with your child, to speak life over them, to anoint their space, to notice emotional shifts, and to seal the gates with peace. Don't wait for the right mood. Obedience unlocks atmosphere. Type I am sealing the blessing to get the blessing 8849. If you ignore this message, if you scroll away and let the moment pass, the sadness may return stronger, disguised in new ways. Heaven does not say this to scare, but to reveal reality. But if you say yes, truly yes, you won't just protect your child. You will activate a legacy. Future generations will rise under your obedience. Your grandchildren will inherit a clearer atmosphere. Your child's testimony will include your breakthrough moment. They'll say, everything changed when my parents saw the truth and fought for me. You are not alone. God is near. Michael is ready. The angels are in place. You are not weak. You are rising. You are not too late. You are right on time. And what seemed like a silent suffering will become a loud deliverance. The devourer has been exposed. The sadness has been named. And the decision is now in your hands. Will you finish what heaven has started? Will you take the final step and walk your child out of the shadows into healing? Type I am completing this calling to get the blessing 9901. Archangel Michael now speaks with the authority of completion, but not closure. Because while the battle for your child's soul is being won, your journey as a guardian has just begun. He says, you have shifted the spiritual balance in your home. You have planted light where shadows once thrived. You have stood between darkness and your child and declared, not this time. That declaration was not a whisper. It was a roar in the spirit realm, and it echoed through the courts of heaven. This part of your journey is about walking in confidence, no longer reacting in fear, but leading from revelation. No longer wondering if something's wrong, but moving with discernment and divine boldness. Michael says your spiritual eyes are now open. You will begin to see things before they happen. You will sense shifts in your child before they speak. This is not paranoia. It is spiritual sensitivity. You are becoming the prophetic covering your child always needed, and your consistency is what will keep the enemy from returning. Stack confirmation. Over the coming days, you may hear your child say something seemingly small, yet spiritually huge. A moment of honesty, a comment about a dream, a sign of peace you hadn't seen in months. Don't overlook these moments. Heaven will be confirming your obedience. You may also begin to feel lighter. The mental fog you didn't know was lingering may suddenly lift. The weight in your chest may loosen. This is not emotional. It is spiritual deliverance releasing residue from your own soul. Type I am sealed in light to get the blessing 6117. Now continue to declare victory out loud every day. Speak to the rooms, to the air, to the atmosphere. Say, this home is covered in light. My child walks in joy. No weapon formed shall prosper. We are not victims of the unseen. We are victors in the spirit. These decrees shape the very environment your child wakes up in. Michael reminds you that consistency defeats darkness more than intensity. Even short daily declarations, done with belief, are more powerful than long bursts followed by silence. Continue checking in on your child's heart, not just their behavior. Ask them what they've felt, not just what they've done. Create a rhythm of openness where they can come to you without fear. And even if they remain guarded, your love will still reach them. Don't measure success by their words, measure it by your presence. Michael says children don't need perfect parents. They need present protectors. Your presence now is prophetic. It chases shadows from their spirit even when no one says a word. Type I am present and powerful to get the blessing 9270. And remember this. The enemy may try to whisper again. He may wait for moments of weakness, fatigue, or distraction. But now you know his voice. And you know the light. Do not entertain fear again. If you sense the atmosphere shift, act immediately. Lay worship. Declare scripture. Reanoint the space. Speak with your child. Activate the same weapons that broke this spirit in the first place. You are no longer unaware. You are empowered. And your spiritual weapons are ready and tested. Heaven is proud of you. God rejoices over you. Michael stands beside you. And your child, even if they don't fully grasp it yet, is protected because you dared to look deeper, listen longer, and love harder. This is the legacy of guardianship. This is what it means to be chosen, not for ease but for impact. You are changing everything. And though the road ahead may still have challenges, you are no longer walking in the dark. You carry the light. You are the light. Type I am victorious for generations to get the blessing 8995. This is the moment Archangel Michael has waited for. Not the moment of fear, not the battle cry, but the peaceful breath after the storm. The moment when light settles and you finally realize the darkness didn't win. You answered the call. You stood between your child and the unseen. You embraced your divine authority, not because you felt worthy, but because love refused to let you remain still. And now, the atmosphere has shifted. The sadness that once fed on silence has lost its hold. Heaven rejoices. Your child's spirit, once pressed under unseen weight, is beginning to rise. Slowly, quietly, powerfully, because of you, because of what you chose to do, because you didn't scroll past the whisper. You opened the message. You listened to the alarm. You said yes when it would have been easier to pretend. And that yes broke chains not just off your child, but off you, your house, and even generations yet unborn. This is the power of divine obedience. It always echoes beyond the moment. Now breathe. You've done what heaven asked. Continue the journey, but rest in the assurance that Archangel Michael and his army have encircled your home. Angels are stationed at your doors. The oil has been poured. The declarations have been spoken. Your child is wrapped in protection. You are no longer walking in confusion. You are moving in light. The sadness will not return the way it came. And if it tries, it will find a house too full of glory to enter. And remember, you are not alone. Whenever you feel weary, call on Michael again. Open this message again. Reread your declarations. Revisit your promises. This journey isn't about perfection. It's about remaining present. One day, your child will thank you, perhaps not with words, but with the peace they carry, the joy they regain, the future they boldly walk into. And when that day comes, you will remember this moment, this fight, this message, this victory. If this message has stirred your spirit and sparked new courage in your heart, we invite you to give a super thanks of $20. Your generosity empowers us to continue bringing prophetic clarity, strength, and hope to those walking the journey from betrayal to breakthrough. You can also support our mission through a PayPal donation. Just click the support here link in the video description. Every contribution, no matter the amount, helps us reach more hearts with encouragement and truth. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you never miss a word of spirit-led insight, divine guidance, and powerful encouragement designed to equip you for your next season. Type I am forever blessed to get the blessing 7777.